What's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. Let me tell you something that you probably never heard before, right? And I know this from experience. I know this from struggling financially most of my life, right? It wasn't even until a few years ago where I first began to have money or have abundance in my life. Before that, it was always lack, never enough money, never enough food, never enough this, never enough that. The months seemed like, a 30-day month seemed like a year. And it was always struggle. Money wasn't a friend to my family. We didn't talk well about it. I came from an environment where if one utility was on, then the other utility had to be off. We couldn't have everything on at the same time. There was just no money, right? And we were very, very poor. So if you're new to the channel, I'm the middleman CEO, Shon-Jhon. I teach you how to build a business from your phone by booking customers, taking deposits, dispatch the work. I call it a DFY business. It's done for you, and I teach you step by step how to do it. I have a free live training coming up this Thursday night. So if you want to get into the training, 7 p.m. Texas time, that's 7 p.m. Central. Put the word middleman in the comments below. If you are sick of your job, sick of trading time for money, if you know that your job's never gonna be able to pay you and give you the life that you desire, and if you understand that time is the most important thing you have and you don't want to go through life selling the next 30, 40 years for a paycheck, then you need to be in that live training. Let me teach you how to use your phone to make money so that you can do whatever you want to do with your time and still get paid. I've been doing it since 2020. My students are having success. You see the videos, you see the posts. Let me show you. Put the word middleman in the comment below. So hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. There is a tax on being poor. There's a tax on being broke. And I'm not just talking about sales tax, income tax, stuff like that. In fact, when I was broke, the government, they would pay me to stay broke. So the least, all right, so there was a year where I think I remember this year I made I want to say $18,000 for the year. The government actually sent me like a $5,000 check. It was almost like a trophy for being poor. Now I know that if you don't make a lot of money, you need the extra help. I get it. But it doesn't incentivize a whole lot of growth. It doesn't incentivize a whole lot of want to. And it certainly doesn't incentivize you having to do better if you know the government's going to cut you a check, right? And so I started developing that mentality of being lazy. Hey, I can only make a certain amount and live my life, do whatever I want to do, screw around, not be responsible, and just kind of casually live. And then the government's going to write me a check at the end of the year. So every January, the government's going to give me a few $1,000s, and it's just a boost, and I'll blow it, and then I'll be back to the struggle life. And I never thought about it, right? But I would do this consistently all the time, year after year. And a lot of you're watching right now, you're in that same position now where you're not making enough money. The government's giving you income tax returns. Nothing wrong with it because you're in a position where you need it. I'm not against it. I'm against that being a part of your financial blueprint, I'll say, right? Listen, it's not a reward. It's not a first place trophy. It's a last place trophy. But I didn't know that, and so I'm saying this to wake some of you up. I know the government's going to cut you a check. I got that. But you can do so much better than that. You can get to a point where you don't need the government's help, and that's the goal. And the government's going to have no problem taking care of you or writing you checks. But here's what they're not going to do, because my family was on welfare for all of our lives. They're never going to knock on the door and say, hey, we have a plan to help you get off of welfare. They're never going to do that. They're never going to show up and say, hey, we got some things in mind that could help you change your life and potentially put yourself in a better position. Ain't going to happen. And so here I am on YouTube screaming. Well, I don't have all my voice today. So, but if I could, I would scream out and say, hey, wake up. We got to put ourselves in the best position possible where we don't depend on the government. We don't depend on anyone else. We use our potential. We use the gifts, the God-given gifts that we've been given to change our lives. And you guys can do that. I can do it. You can do it, especially if I can do it, right? And so think about it. There's a tax on the poor. And that tax is this, and you don't think about it because the reality is that it costs a whole lot more to be poor than it does to be rich. A whole lot more. In fact, the rich don't pay taxes like the poor and the middle class do. I'll let you in on a little secret. The rich don't really pay taxes. It's the poor and the middle class who do. Well, mainly the middle class. The middle class pays all the taxes.